it in the context of the call that is currently on, that is inviting applications for fellows. So I'll talk very briefly about award, so that you can get to know a bit about us. Then I'll give an overview of what the program is about. I'll talk about our geographical focus and who we are targeting in the program. And then we'll mention the activities. Under the activities, we'll also talk about the training activities, which will, I'll invite my colleague, Pauline, to present that. And then we'll end with the key dates to note. So Award African Women in Agricultural Research and Development was founded in 2008. And at that time, our primary focus was on widening the pipeline of women in leadership. And so we're just specifically offering career fellowships for women in agriculture, agricultural research and development. Over the years, our mandate has expanded, specifically informed by the need to work with the institutions where these women come from, and also to foster an enabling environment that can enable gender-responsive agriculture to take place. So our work is anchored on 3 pillars. The first pillar, we continue to focus on individuals. So we continue to offer career development fellowships for women. And in some instances, we've had certain fellowships that have also targeted men. These ones are specifically focused on ensuring that people pay attention to gender as they work on leading innovations as researchers. So the Women in Agriculture Leadership Fellowship falls squarely under this pillar of investing in individuals. The second pillar of our work is around strengthening institutions, where we target both institutions and ARD professionals' capacity, specifically enhancing their ability and capacity to integrate gender into their research practices, and for the institutions, both their research practices and their policies to enable them deliver better in their mandate. And then the third piece of our work is around the environment, fostering an enabling environment for equitable agri-food systems. And here we're very much concerned with the policies, ensuring that the policies are paying attention to ways in which they are either exacerbating the gender gaps or addressing the gender gaps in agri-food systems, but also generating evidence that will continue to inform the form and shape that our approaches should take around investing in equitable agri-food systems. So since our founding, my slide is not moving. Okay, there. So since our founding, we have delivered 18 fellowship cycles and reached more than 2,200 beneficiaries from more than 460 institutions in 26 countries in Africa. When I present about the component of the Women in Agriculture Fellowship, we will see that we target fellows, yes, but we have a very strong mentoring component, and that is why you will see that we have 1,030 fellows that have graduated from our fellowships, but the beneficiaries are more than 130 fellows because of the mentors and other participants in the fellowship. Our evaluations are showing that there's been significant career progress that has been recorded among the award fellows because they benefit from tailored programs that focus on enhancing their leadership skills. I've talked about the mentoring partnerships, but we also design and tailor very specific training programs that seek to sharpen their technical capacity, their technical skills in different areas, policy evaluations, developing climate solutions, advanced science training, but also catalyzing research collaborations among the fellows and fostering increased networks. So about the Women in Agriculture Leadership Program Fellowship, it is, of course, informed and anchored on the award fellowship model, which we have refined over the years and really enhanced. And it has continues to have a very strong mentoring component, coupled with training activities and networking activities. 3 objectives of the fellowship. 1 is to strengthen the leadership skills of the fellows, as well as the influence of these fellows in their institutions and in the spaces that they work. The second objective is to enhance their technical skills. They will go through a leadership training, they will go through a mentoring program, but they will also receive very targeted technical training that focuses on the ability to write, to produce publications, or to write proposals, or to integrate gender in their work. Yeah, so different technical training activities. And then the third objective is around fostering collaborative networks, supporting and incentivizing the fellows to work together with each other, both in countries and across the countries. But also, we mentioned that this program is funded under the Africa-Australia Partnership for Climate Responsive Agriculture. There's a big component around fostering collaborations between Africa and Australia. The fellowship targets female applicants from 6 countries, that is Egypt, Ghana, Morocco, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and Senegal. So this call is only targeting and inviting applications from female applicants in these 6 countries. Eventually, we are targeting 300 beneficiaries through the fellowship. We will have 2 cohorts of fellows, and each cohort will have 50 fellows. The current call is now on for the first cohort. Once the fellows have been selected and onboarded, they are each paired with a mentor for the mentoring component. And at some point during the fellowship period, they are again paired with a younger researcher who is going to be their fellow mentee. The idea is for the fellow to also apply the learnings from their mentoring program to mentor others, and also to create this intergenerational network of researchers working together, fostering the networking piece. I should mention here that the fellowship will run for 24 months. So when you apply and you're successful, you will be participating in a 2-year program with different activities staggered over the 2-year period. It is a non-residential fellowship, so you continue to be stationed in your institution, but you attend different training activities over the 2-year period, and we will tell you what these activities are. The key components of the fellowship, I will mention again the mentoring program. You will select, when you're applying, I know some of you who are here have already started the application process. At the application stage, we invite you to nominate 3 seasoned experts that you admire in your field that you think could be potential mentors. Once you are successful, we then look at the suggestions, the people that you nominated to be your fellows, and we go through a process of reviewing the profiles of these proposed mentors, and then we pair you with the one that we see being the most suitable option. And then together with your mentor, you will be expected to participate in a virtual mentoring orientation workshop. You will also be expected to attend monthly mentoring meetings. We provide you with various tools to guide you through this mentoring program. It's a 1-year mentoring program. You and your mentor will walk a 1-year mentoring journey. We give you different tools. When you come on board, we will support you to develop a plan around your mentoring, but also your fellowship and beyond your fellowship career, beyond your fellowship participation, to encompass more broadly your career goals. And then after 1 year, you will select a younger woman, ideally, to whom you will serve as a mentor. So now, in this case, you refers to the fellow. And together with your fellow mentee, you will carry out role modeling activities, preferably in the institutions or in the communities where you are situated. The second component is technical training. The technical training courses, which are designed to build technical competencies in different subjects, including gender responsiveness, climate resilience, proposal development, and how to foster collaboration. My colleague, I'm going to invite her to talk about the specific training components. But the last piece is around collaborative activities, where we incentivize and support you to work together with each other. When I say you, in this case, I refer to the fellow. But not just among the fellows, also between fellows and mentors, either in your countries, across different countries. It is a strong component around collaborations. I'd like to invite my colleague, Pauline, to take us through the other training courses besides the mentoring program. So Pauline, over to you. I'll keep the slide on.
Thank you, Doreen. Hello, everyone. And yes, as Doreen has mentioned, my name is Pauline Bomet. I'm the Senior Manager for Leadership and Training. And we're very excited about this program and look forward to very good applications and as implementing the program. So in addition to the mentoring program that my colleague Doreen has mentioned, we have other courses, and these include the first one, which is a leadership and negotiation skills course. This is an in-person training, a 5-day course that seeks to strengthen the women's leadership capacities, confidence, influence, and team building, team collaboration, fostering teamwork amongst the different units where these participants work. That's a very exciting program. And then the other one that we have is a virtual training course, which is focusing on science, communication, and proposal writing. As they say, for scientists, if you don't publish, you perish. This is very key. And in this course, we cover proposal writing. We help you to gain clarity on the ideas you may have for doing some research, and also support you in how you can make a compelling case for those ideas, and thereby also translating those ideas into a proposal. There's also the bit of communication. How do you present yourself? How do you publish so that you can increase and enhance your capacity in writing manuscripts that can be published. The third training, gender is very, very key in a word, as Doreen has been mentioning about gender responsiveness. And so one of the technical courses is the gender in climate adaptation. This is a virtual training course over a period of 4 weeks, where participants come in twice a week for about 2.5 hours. In as much as it is virtual, it's very, very practical. Actually, even the second course, the communication and proposal writing, all our courses are very practical. You're required to come with a project, with a paper that you're working on. And in the case of gender, you will bring in the work that you're researching on, and will help you to, first of all, understand why gender is important, why gender responsiveness is important in your research, and then help you to learn how to identify gender gaps and how you can integrate gender in your work. There are concepts we teach, and these are very key, because once you go through this course, we envision that you will be able to at least articulate, gender, why it's important, and articulate also, help others to see gaps that need gender responsiveness, and overall help you also with your proposal writing, your communication, how to wear a gender lens and ensure that your products, your publications, your writing is gender responsive. The last one is a face-to-face training on gender in agriculture research. You can see number 3 is gender and climate adaptation. The one on gender in agriculture research is looking at, it's still about gender, but overall in regard to agricultural research. And I think this is the one where you will also train along with the institutions that Doreen had mentioned, so that, because you are placed in institutions, right? So this course will help you to be a champion, somebody who can advocate for gender, because you will gain a strengthened awareness of what gender is and the gaps. We will be happy to answer any questions, but I hope these programs and this menu that we have, we are presenting will help in enhancing and exciting you to apply for this very important and exciting fellowship. Thank you, Doreen. Over to you.
Thank you, Pauline. Thank you very much for breaking down the training courses and what it entails. My next slide talks about other activities in the fellowship. So we have the mentoring, we have the training, but we also have one of the other objectives is around amplifying the networks and the visibility of the fellows. So there's a storytelling training and event where we identify fellows who participate in a storytelling training, and eventually an event which is usually takes the format of a TED Talk kind of event, and you share compelling narratives around your work to an audience that it's very specifically curated. Also, not just to enhance your visibility, but to enable you to apply your skills that you've learned around packaging your work, presenting your work, and also exposing you to other people in the field. There's also a component around participation in conferences. We encourage and support you to apply for, to submit abstracts where you can present your work in different conferences. And there's also various peer learning forums throughout the fellowship period that are curated and enable you to share your work. We've talked about collaboration activities. And then finally, this is our last slide. So the key dates to note, the call for applications is currently on, and the applications will close on April 26th. It's a hard deadline which will not be extended, so please pay attention to that. The good thing is that you can start your application now. You can always save it and go back to it, so you can continue thinking about what you want to submit. But once you submit your application, you cannot withdraw it. Successful fellows are expected to be notified by the end of June 2026, and the fellowship activities are supposed to commence in earnest in the second half of this year. Thank you very much for listening, and now we invite questions. We're happy to take any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Doreen and Pauline, for sharing those insights on the program. As Doreen had mentioned, we are open to questions. You can raise your hand if you want to speak, but I can see most of you are putting the questions on the chat and they're being responded to real time. But I can read a few that have not yet been responded to. The one that is here is, where will the face-to-face meeting take place?
Thank you, Marion. Maybe when you read out, you can assign who to take that question, but I can respond to that. So the face-to-face meetings will happen in one of the focus countries. The countries that we've presented there, the face-to-face meeting will happen in one of those countries, so it will be communicated in good time. I've also seen a lot of people asking, why is my country not included? Why is Malawi not included? Ethiopia not included? Usually there's a lot of conversations that go about identifying which countries to focus on. A lot of times it's also determined by the scope of the bigger program that the fellowship is funded under. And in this case, the Africa-Australia partnership is focusing on these countries only. But the good news is that we have other fellowship opportunities that are soon going to open up, still under award. So you can subscribe to our newsletter. For instance, there's a fellowship that is coming up that will be targeting women from Ethiopia, Kenya, Nigeria, and Uganda. So you can subscribe to our newsletter so that you can get the notification when it's open.
Doreen, thank you for that. We are still on eligibility. I believe you're going to answer these two questions. This is from Mahawib. This is Mahawib from Sudan. He says, can Sudanese researchers apply in collaboration with another researcher from eligible country? And then another one is from Hind. Specify the most important criteria to select candidate for this program. And then the last one from Sophia is, must an applicant be a master holder?
Okay, thank you, Marion. I'll start with the last question. Yes, the minimum academic qualification is a master's degree, so you must have a master's degree. The question about can a Sudanese apply in collaboration with another one from an eligible country? You see, the application is individual. It's not a collaborative application. You apply you as the person. So you cannot say that you apply in collaboration with somebody else from an eligible country. Then there's the question from which is the one I've not answered.
It's also a question on age limit.
There's no age limit, but there's another question that you asked. You asked me 3 questions and I've only answered 2.
Eligibility to the call. The exact criteria for selection.
Yeah. So there's no age limit. When you look at the call, which is open, I'll ask my colleagues to post it again. The first thing is that you must have a minimum of a master's degree. You must also have a minimum of 7 years experience in the field. But when you look at the form, you really must demonstrate your capability and why you deserve a spot. There are very specific questions in the form. And if you don't take your time to explain to us, for instance, what is your experience in the agricultural research field or in climate responsive research, and what specific value do you think this fellowship will add to you? If you don't articulate that very well, then it becomes difficult. Yeah. I can see a question here.
Probably.
Are award beneficiaries eligible? It's still under eligibility. If you're an award fellow, you're not eligible. If you've already gone through as a different award fellowship, then you're not eligible. Back to you, Marion.
Thank you, Doreen, for the answers. You can put your questions in the chat. They're being answered real time. Alternatively, you can put them in the Q&A, or you can also raise your hand. Most questions are on criteria and eligibility, which have been answered. But this one is, since this cohort is starting in July 2026, is the award fellowship flexible to accommodate participants engaged in other fellowship program? Doreen?
No, there's no flexibility around the start date. We expect you to be ready and available, so you must confirm your availability to participate in all the activities, and the activities will commence in July. So you must commit that you will be available and you will attend all the activities as they happen, both the in-person and the virtual.
Thank you, Doreen. The next question will go to Pauline. Can applicants from the same institution apply where the mentors are? Pauline?
I need to see the question, but yeah, I think applicants can apply. Applicants can apply from the countries that my colleague has mentioned. Once the selection has been done, we do the pairing of mentors, bringing on board mentors. And there are times you will find that a mentor can actually be from the same institution. What drives the selection of mentors is, the goals, the career goals, the research goals of the fellow. However, I'll open it up and request Doreen if you would like to add something to my response.
Yes, thank you, Pauline. Yes, people from the same institution can apply. However, the final selection will be based on the quality and the strength of your application. So we're not saying that there's a limit on the number of people from one institution that can apply. As many people from the institution can apply, so you can feel free to circulate this call to your institution, to your colleagues in your institution. I'll take the liberty and answer a question here that I clicked on. Reham Mohammed Fauzi is asking, can women in aquaculture sector apply? Yes, women in aquaculture sector can apply. Back to you, Marion.
Thank you, Doreen. This question goes to Pauline. Does the fellowship offer employment opportunities after the training?
Okay, thank you. That's a good question. This is a fellowship program. It's non-residential. The criteria, my colleague read it out, and it's a fellowship program seeking to strengthen the skills, the capacity of the fellows who will have qualified for the fellowship. We do not offer job positions. We expect that you have some work experience out there so that you are also able to apply the skills and the knowledge that you get from the programs that we have outlined.
Pauline, thank you for that. Doreen, I'll take this with you. Is the fellowship only for researchers, or how do women in the private sector join?
Thank you, Marion. So if you're in the private sector, you must demonstrate how the work that you're doing has an innovation component in it. Ideally, we target researchers from agricultural research and development institutions. But if you work in the private sector and there's some research work in your private sector, you just have to demonstrate that in your application. Then Marion, maybe because I have the mic, I can take advantage, and I'm seeing a lot of people asking questions about mentors. People are asking, must the mentor come from my field? Can the mentor come from a different country? What is the eligibility of mentors? So yes, the mentor does not have to come from your field. It could be somebody that is more experienced, is more seasoned in the agricultural research and development field more broadly, not specifically. Like if you're an agronomist, they don't have to be an agronomist. They also don't have to be from your country, but we really must see how they're going to get to be committed to the mentoring program, because we require you to meet monthly. You can meet virtually. Mentors can be from any fields. Mentors eligibility, same countries, I've mentioned that. Somebody is asking about the 7 years. I think I've seen that coming up many times. The 7 years experience. I think and this person is asking even if this takes into account the PhD years. I think if you have 7 years experience post-masters, you automatically qualify. Or if you have 7 years experience, including the time that you've been doing the masters, post your first degree, and you have a master's degree, you qualify. Then let me go back to the mentor's question. Can the mentor be a male? Yes. Mentors can also be men and women. Only the fellows are women, but the mentors can be men and women. I'll hand over back to you.
Thank you, Doreen. This next question goes to Sharon. I know in the criteria you say that it's mid-career researchers, but one of the participants has asked, can early career researchers also apply?
Yeah, thank you so much, Marion. Yes, you can apply. And just to go over again what we are looking for and how you can write a compelling application. So one of the things that we look at after your application is looking at the eligibility criteria. Are you a female? Are you from the countries that have been highlighted? Then have you completed your master's degrees? Just looking at in generally, then are you in the agricultural field? Now that is on the first step when it comes to selection of the participants. Then again, we really look into your objectives. Have you aligned your personal objectives with now the objectives of the fellowship? So you need to go and read keenly on the FAQs of the fellowship and look at the objective of the fellowship and now align your personal objective to that of the fellowship. Then another thing we look at is complete application. So when you are asked to explain what you're currently doing, your research area in 500 words, are you using close to or about to 500 words? Or probably are you, when you're asked to explain your personal goals or what you're planning to do in the next 5 years, are you using about the number of words that you are being asked? Then again, when you answering those questions, are you being authentic on your application? Are you explaining what you're doing, not using vague responses? Then we are so keen on the use of AI when it comes to the applications. So, and also more so irresponsible use of AIs, and we discourage that. Then something else that we also discourage is participants applying more than once. Just apply once and we will get your application. Then be keen on the deadline of the application so that you don't apply after the deadline. Thank you, Marion.
Thank you, Sharon, for that detailed information on the selection criteria. The questions are coming in fast. Please feel free to raise your hand if you want to speak. Alternatively, you can use the Q&A chat or the chat function for your question to be addressed. I'll ask Pauline to respond to these two questions. One, are courses only for eligible countries, and how can one register for the free courses? The second one is, can I recommend a specialist in climate smart agriculture, though not a gender specialist?
Thank you, Marion. Okay, yeah, let me start with the last one. Can I recommend a specialist in climate smart agriculture, though not a gender specialist? Yes, certainly yes. This course is for women researchers. You can be in climate smart agriculture, but not necessarily a gender specialist. As you've seen in those activities that we have proposed, we are looking at supporting you to now be able to integrate gender in your climate smart agriculture. So you don't have to be a gender specialist. The important thing is you should be a researcher in agricultural research and development. I hope that answers. And then the other one was about eligibility. Qualifying applications must come from the countries that we have mentioned. That is Egypt, Morocco, Senegal, Ghana, and Nigeria. So you have to be from those countries. I have seen another question, if I may answer, is about mentors. Does the mentor have to come from the same country? I think I can say not necessarily. Depending on your application, your career goals, aspirations, it is in our interest that we ensure we pair you up with a mentor who will support you to the extent possible to advance in your career. So it may not necessarily be from the same country, from those 5 countries that I have mentioned. Sometimes you may even have somebody in your country, as a senior, very experienced scientist, who may not be from that, a national of that country. That person can be your mentor. And they can also come from, they may not be necessarily located in the eligible countries. The key thing is now the technical expertise, the leadership that mentor can avail to you so that you can advance in your career. Thank you.
Thank you, Pauline, for that question. Another question from Abolaji. I'll let Sharon respond to this. Abolaji says he previously worked at International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, but is currently an independent consultant, and he's back in his country in Nigeria, and has also completed his master's at the University of Glasgow in UK. The question he asks is, which of these institutions will be appropriate for these applications? For this application, I believe I meet the other eligibility criteria.
Thank you, Marion. I believe she is asking about what to put in her current institution. So my question to them will be, what are you currently doing? Just put it to us what you're currently doing. Are you consulting in a farm? Are you still at the university? So just put it as it is. Then, as I had said earlier on the application, just put your case for yourself. Then the selection committee will decide. Thank you, Marion. Then, while on that, I've seen a question on opportunities for other women that do not have masters. Yeah, and now with that, I've also seen a question, someone asking whether there are opportunities for people in Kenya or East African countries, Uganda, and other countries that are not mentioned. Yes, there are other opportunities, not this particular fellowship, but there are other opportunities, and I would encourage you to subscribe to our newsletters so that you are the first person to get information from us as we launch now the call of application for other programs. Thank you.
Sharon, the next question still goes to you. Can one modify the application if they have already submitted it?
No, you cannot modify an application once you have submitted it. But if you feel like you have other things that you need to do to your application, you might as well as start a new application, but you cannot modify.
Thank you, Sharon. The next question will be answered by Doreen. Is the fellowship online or in person in Australia?
Okay. Thank you, Marion. The fellowship is blended. It is a hybrid program with some activities offered and that require face-to-face participation, and some that require virtual participation. The activities that require face-to-face participation are all held in Africa, in an African country that is among the target countries of the program. Maybe now, because I have the mic, I can also answer some questions. There was a person who was asking if there's a fee to attend the training. No, there's no participation fee and there's no application fee. There's also somebody who was asking if this fellowship can fund her PhD research. No, the fellowship does not fund PhD research, just strictly the costs for participating in the leadership programs and other fellowship activities. There's somebody who has also asked about the ones who are fresh from college, if they can apply. No, you must demonstrate your experience, and you must have at least 7 years experience in this field. You must demonstrate what you've been doing in these 7 years and how they are relevant to what the fellowship will offer in terms of enabling you to advance the work that you're doing in agri-food systems. Then I want to talk briefly about, I can see a lot of questions about mentors and mentoring. Let me mention some benefits to mentors also in this program. While the mentors come in as seasoned experts, and primarily what we want to do is to pair them with the younger fellows so that they can guide them on how to sustain their careers in this field, we also recognize and appreciate that they will require themselves support as they volunteer their time. And so the mentors benefit by attending the mentoring orientation workshop, so they get trained on how to do structured mentoring. But we also have an opportunity for the mentors to apply for a competitive fund to participate in conferences or to do some seminars in their institutions. So I know there are some of us who are on this call who would be very good candidates to be mentors. So just to mention to you that you will also benefit from some of these programs. And the climate, gender in climate adaptation course is also open to other people beyond the fellows, so mentors can also attend this course. I want to go back to the question around institutional affiliation. The lady who used to work with IITA and has finished her course at Glasgow. Institutional affiliation is very key. It must be the institution that you're currently affiliated to. Because if you put in the form that you are an employee or a staff of IITA and you're successful, we will require you to provide endorsement from your institution. So the institution must endorse and say that Doreen works for award and we endorse her participation in this fellowship. Then while I'm still here, I can see if Luapo asking, can mentors be previous fellows of award? Absolutely yes. We really welcome previous award alumni to participate as fellows. Is there any opportunity in Ghana? Yes. Ghana is one of the target countries. Back to you, Marion.
Doreen, there's one more question on mentors. If mentors are not available, will award give a fellow a mentor outside the three that she's supposed to nominate?
Yes. Thank you for that question. If the three that you've nominated are not available or suitable, award can always recommend some fellows, possible mentors for you. Then somebody I think has asked many times, how many months is the program? I mentioned at the beginning, it is a 24-month fellowship. So when you apply, you're going to be in the program for 24 months, but I just want to emphasize that it's a non-residential fellowship, which means that you don't have to resign from your work. You're not going to go away to a different country. You will continue being affiliated and stationed in your country and in your institution. But you will have to attend the face-to-face activities. Mostly, my colleague Pauline presented some of the face-to-face courses take 5 days, so you'll be required to be away for maybe a week. And then the virtual courses take place throughout a period, maybe 2 hours every session.
Doreen, this question still goes to you. What if the applicant is not currently affiliated to any institution?
Okay, thank you. That's a good question. Then you must tell us what you're doing now, because we are targeting people. Remember, we are targeting women who are working in agricultural research and development, and specifically who we have a strong focus on climate resilience. So you must tell us if you're not affiliated to any institution, how is your work, the work that you're doing now, relevant to the fellowship?
Thank you, Doreen. The next question, I'll pass it on to Pauline. As a PhD student, can the fellowship assist with research work and funds to collect data and do laboratory work?
Okay, thank you for that question. This fellowship, this program does not give funds. We don't have scholarships. It's a residential program. As Doreen has mentioned, you will participate in those activities whilst you are in your country or the institution where you are affiliated. We will call on you to participate in the different courses that we have, and that is now what the program is offering. We don't offer funding, scholarship for your PhD or your studies, or even for your research out there, except for what is proposed in the program. Yeah. And I can add, I've seen some questions on mentors again, and I think Tekla has responded, but just to emphasize, this fellowship is targeting women. Yeah, it's targeting women, the women apply. But in terms of mentoring, the mentors can be either male or female. The mentors don't necessarily have to be female only. Men are participate if we find that the mentor you have proposed qualifies and would be a perfect match for you, for helping you advance in your career, giving you networks, and looking at your career goals. If it's a male, then they would be eligible. Over to you, Marion.
Pauline, this next question is still to you. Hanan is asking about the course duration, the frequency of sessions per day, and whether the entire course will be delivered online.
Okay, thank you. That's important because when you apply for this fellowship, you need to know how much time you will need, how much time will be required for you. So the first course that this program offers is an in-person leadership and negotiation skills course. This is 5 days, a 5-day course. We are yet to decide where it will be. If you qualify and are selected, you will be invited. Let me just give an example. Like you come to Nairobi and you will be here for 5 days. You will go through the course with other participants and you go back to your country after the 5 days. And of course, award in this fellowship, all those costs will be catered for. So that's in person. For virtual, you will participate virtually from wherever you are. And how we have designed our programs is that, let me take the example of the communication, the proposal writing, which is virtual. We have organized it in a way that it will take place, for example, for 8 sessions. That would be like a month. And we have 2 sessions in a week, and each session goes for a period of 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. So that you will find in a week, we will require about 7 hours of your time. That's attending the sessions live. And we normally have assignments, of course, things that you need to do before or after each session. So you'll find that for this virtual session in a week, you may need to set aside about 7 hours. 5 hours being live and the other 2, later on offline for you to undertake the assignments. So it's a mix. We have in-person sessions, physical, and we have virtual sessions, and you will log in online. We have different platforms and it's very interactive. And of course, for those that will qualify and are selected, we will give you a lot more details. But what I can reiterate is these are very practical courses and certainly from our past experience, very beneficial and impactful. Over to you, Mariam.
Thank you, Pauline, for that answer. Doreen, I'll let you answer this. Olalua is asking if the participant had to relocate during the course of the program to another country or state. Is there room for continuity in the new location?
Thank you, Olalua, for that question. The first thing that I need to emphasize is that the fellow, so if you're applying, you must ensure that you will be based in Africa throughout the fellowship period. You could be a Nigerian, and Nigeria is one of the target countries, but you're based in Kenya, so you can apply. Or you could be from Sierra Leone and you're based in a different African country, you can still apply. The first thing is that you must be from one of those 6 countries by nationality. But the second requirement is that you must be residing in Africa. You cannot be residing outside Africa. So if you relocate from Kenya to Ghana, then that is fine, you continue. But if you plan to relocate from Ghana to the US or to Europe, no, you cannot participate in the fellowship. You must be located in Africa. Marion, I saw a question about Rukia said that she applied but did not receive a confirmation email. Maybe Sharon can respond to that.
Okay. Yeah. After your application, you're supposed to receive an email from JotForm coming from Award telling you that this is your application and this is what you wrote. So probably you did not submit your application. Kindly go back and check if your application was submitted from your end.
Thank you, Sharon, for that. This question from Dr. Noha: can I apply if I'm employed at a research institute, but currently on child leave? But currently on child care leave while still able to work remotely for the institute?
Can take that one, Marion. Yes, if you're on childcare leave, that is fine, so long as you can demonstrate that you're affiliated to that institution and that they will be able to endorse you, because you must submit an institutional endorsement letter upon your selection for you to be able to be onboarded into the program. Somebody is asking, Sheme, can you send it to us, the fellowship program? I don't understand what you mean. I don't know if you're referring to the recording or the proposal or the call, but I believe, Marion, that we shall be sharing with all the webinar participants the recording, the presentation, and the call. Right, Marion?
Yes. The recording and the live streaming will be shared. Shaime, you had raised your hand. You can now speak.
Hi, do you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the presentation. It's so interesting. Just I asking for the call because I don't receive, maybe for when I check the email, I don't receive the program. If you can, okay, thank you very much. I receive it now.
Thank you. It has been put on the chat, both in English and in French. Please go through it and read the eligibility criteria for you to apply.
Okay, thank you very much. Just I can ask just for eligibility, because me now I am a PhD student and I work in Morocco, because yes, it is an African country, but I am working just recently.
Can respond to Sheme. Yes, you're based in Morocco, you're a PhD student, you are eligible so long as you can demonstrate in your application what your work is about. And you can apply in either English or French. You've seen the call is there in French and in English. The application form is available in French and in English.
Okay, thank you very much.
Marion, maybe I can take this other one. Is there an age limit? No, there's no age limit. You just have to be a female African researcher from any of the 6 eligible countries, which are Egypt, Ghana, Morocco, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and Senegal. And you must have a minimum of a master's degree and have 7 years work experience in agricultural research and development.
Thank you, Doreen, for that. Please note that eligibility criteria and all the links are being posted on the chat, so take note of that. This question goes to Pauline. How long does the fellowship last?
Okay. Yeah, this fellowship lasts for 24 months. 24 months. All those programs that we outlined, all the activities that we've shared, we presented, will take place within those 24 months.
Thank you, Pauline. And if you have masters but not a researcher, but a professional in agriculture sector, is a person eligible? Doreen?
Okay, thank you for that question. Ideally, we are targeting women researchers because we are targeting professionals whose work is about developing solutions for smallholders. So if you're not a researcher, then maybe what you need to do is demonstrate how you're developing solutions. So I'm not sure. We are primarily targeting women researchers.
Also note that we are putting the link to the frequently asked question. So if your question has not been answered, please check on the link for comprehensive question and the answers to those questions. I don't see any more questions. Anyone who wants to raise their hand, who has a question that needs to be addressed or needs to put it in the chat? Sarah, when I try to apply in the English form, I cannot find Morocco in the eligible countries. However, I find it in the French application form. I feel more comfortable in English, so I'm asking if I can answer the questions in English, even if I'm applying in the French format. Sharon can respond to that.
Yeah. Thank you, Marion. I will pass it to Doreen.
Okay. Yes, Sarah, you can apply in English. So long as you are from the eligible countries, it's fine. You can apply in English. Grace is asking how many participants will be selected. Each cohort will have 50 participants. We are targeting 2 cohorts. The call that is currently open is for the first cohort. We will select 50 fellows, and then the call for the second cohort will be released towards the end of the year.
If we don't have further questions, I can give Doreen and Pauline to just have final words for all the participants before we can finalize on the webinar. Just closing remarks.
I can start and then hand over to you, Doreen. Okay. So thank you very much for your interest. I think this is very overwhelming in a positive way that there is keen interest for this fellowship. I can assure you that what we have to offer is also very impactful. The other thing that I can say is as you make those applications, be very mindful at the quality that you put in how you respond, because it's very competitive. Sometimes we get over 1,000 applications for only 50 slots. So you can see how competitive that is. Just do very well in how you apply so that you are at the top. And with that, I just want to wish you well and again express my gratitude for the interest that I am seeing for this fellowship. Thank you very much. All the best. Over to you, Doreen.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pauline. I also am joining you in saying a big thank you and expressing my appreciation to everybody who joined this webinar today. We are really for sure overwhelmed with the interest that you've seen you expressing in the program. It promises to be a very transformative program. We have the experience and the evidence to show how transformative the fellowships have been. We are particularly really honored and excited to have participants from Morocco, from Egypt, from Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone and Egypt are new countries that award is expanding into. And so our call is for you to share this opportunity with people in your networks so that we can have strong representation from these countries. Of course, the other countries where we have been, we continue to invite you to circulate this call with your networks. When we share with you the recording, the presentation, and the call again, please feel free to share this with other potential applicants for the fellowship, but also for the mentors. There could be people that you see being potential mentors. We invite you to share this with them because those mentors are the ones who would encourage their potential mentees to also apply and to help us just spread the word and to continue expanding our reach. Like Pauline has said, pay attention to the quality of application that you want to submit because it remains very, very competitive. I just want to emphasize that you should feel free to apply in the language that you're comfortable in. The training will be offered in both French and in English. So we have a pool of very capable, qualified international trainers who deliver in English, and we have those ones who also deliver in French. So worry not. Otherwise, from me, it's been wonderful having you this afternoon or this morning, depending on where you're joining us. Thank you for your interest and all the best. Do take care. Do take note of the deadline for applications because it shall not be extended, April 26th. Thank you very much. Back to you, Marion.
Thank you, Doreen. Thank you, Doreen. Thank you, Pauline, and thank you, Sharon, for answering all those questions. And also thank you to Tekla for ensuring that the questions in the chat are answered in real time. Thank you also for all the participants who are able to join the webinar. The questions you shared, we'll put all the questions together and add them to the frequently asked questions so that you'll be able to reference them when you want to. As you said earlier on, that the webinar was being live streamed and recorded. So we'll share the link with you so that you'll be able to go through it and just get to learn more about the program. And since we have no more questions, I'd like to thank you all for taking time for joining us today. We hope you gained deeper insights on the eligibility criteria, how to apply, and what is required of you for this fellowship. As Doreen also mentioned, please help us to spread the word around within your networks concerning the call for application. You can also follow us on our socials, Award Fellowship in Facebook, Instagram, and X, and Africa Women in Agricultural Research and Development in LinkedIn. You can also visit our website, www.awardfellowship.org. Once again, I say thank you for all of you. Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful rest of your day. But before you leave, we want to play the French version of the video we played at the start of the webinar. That's basically showing you what the program is all about, but in French. Thank you.
Les femmes sont au cœur des systèmes agroalimentaires en Afrique. En effet, elles représentent 49% de la main-d'œuvre du secteur. Pourtant, malgré ce rôle central, de nombreuses femmes sont encore confrontées à des inégalités qui limitent leur accès aux ressources et aux opportunités économiques. Ces contraintes renforcent leur vulnérabilité face au changement climatique et fragilisent leurs moyens de subsistance. Cette situation se reflète également dans la recherche agricole et dans les instances décisionnelles où les femmes restent largement sous-représentées. À ce jour, elles représentent moins de 25% des chercheurs et moins de 7% d'entre elles occupent des postes de responsabilité. Ces inégalités limitent non seulement les opportunités ouvertes aux femmes, mais freinent également le potentiel de développement du secteur agricole en Afrique. Dans ce contexte, il est essentiel d'augmenter les investissements visant à soutenir et à former les chercheurs afin qu'ils puissent développer des solutions adaptées aux besoins des petits exploitants, y compris les femmes. Il est tout aussi important de valoriser les talents et le leadership des experts pour concevoir, promouvoir et diffuser des innovations qui soient inclusives, équitables et durables. Le programme de formation sur le leadership des femmes dans l'agriculture a été conçu pour répondre à deux priorités majeures. Premièrement, augmenter le nombre de femmes et renforcer leurs compétences et leurs expériences en matière de leadership dans la recherche agricole. Ensuite, stimuler le développement d'innovations qui répondent aux besoins diversifiés des petits exploitants et tiennent compte des spécificités des systèmes agroalimentaires en Afrique. Cette initiative s'inscrit dans le cadre du partenariat Afrique-Australie pour une agriculture adaptée au climat. Le programme est mis en valeur dans 6 pays africains, à savoir l'Égypte, le Ghana, le Maroc, le Nigeria, le Sénégal et la Sierra Leone. Les participants sont des chercheurs spécialisés en agriculture et en climatologie, issus de systèmes nationaux de recherche agricole, des ministères de l'agriculture et des institutions universitaires. Cette approche vise à garantir une représentation institutionnelle forte et diversifiée dans l'écosystème de la recherche agricole et climatique. Le programme repose sur une approche à 2 volets. Le premier volet est le développement de carrières destinées aux chercheuses. Le second volet est celui d'un programme de renforcement institutionnel pour les institutions nationales de recherche agricole. Dans le cadre du premier volet, environ 300 personnes seront sélectionnées pour participer à une série d'activités comprenant le développement du leadership, les partenariats de mentorat et l'excellence technique. L'objectif est de renforcer les capacités à influencer le développement et l'adoption de technologies résilientes face au climat. Le second volet implique une collaboration avec 5 institutions dans le cadre d'un programme de renforcement des capacités des chercheurs et des organisations africaines pour promouvoir le développement et la diffusion d'innovations agricoles à la fois résilientes au climat et sensibles à la dimension genre. À l'issue du programme, nous aurons avec nos partenaires révélé et renforcé le leadership des femmes dans la recherche agricole tout en stimulant des partenariats de recherche plus inclusifs et dynamiques. Appuyer les institutions dans le renforcement de la capacité à intégrer la dimension genre dans les politiques et pratiques de recherche. Contribuer à accélérer la transition vers une agriculture plus inclusive, sensible au genre et résiliente au climat. En définitive, ce programme contribuera à une transformation durable des systèmes agroalimentaires en Afrique.